Hi you guys, my name is Latoya. Welcome to my crafty space. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing how I created a birthday card. Let me grab that card. So I ended up creating this. If you guys are interested to see how I made this, please stay tuned. If you guys do end up liking this video, please do literally like this YouTube video and also subscribe to my channel if you're interested in anything that I make or that I'm talking about as far as my crafty journey. Now, the main jumping off point for this birthday card was this set here. And this is the Papertry ink, the Big's birthday style stamp and die set. Got it earlier on in February, and I was just very, very excited when I saw this set. I love the style of the cake, the dies. If you don't know, I have a brother scan and cut, so I'm pretty particular when it comes to purchasing dies. These dies had enough dies of interest that were outside of what I could get with my scan and cut, so I thought these were an absolutely worthwhile purchase. Everything else I'm going to go through in the video as I create this card. Hi you guys, voiceover Latoya here. So I'm taking out my Stampin' Up! Early Espresso because I'm making a chocolate cake. I also am going to decorate the panel of my Misty. So after I stamped that out, I decided to make this a yellow chocolate cake. There's so many different variations I can do. This is just the first one that I wanted to try out. And I have the crushed curry, also a Stampin' Up! Ink color. One stamp was okay, but two stamps, it came out absolutely beautiful. I love, love, love how my ink pads won't close. Okay, so I'm wiping off that little stamp there, and now I'm just going to go ahead and also struggle more with this pad. Okay, so these new pads, like, they have a sticking point, and you really got to work at it. Like, I wish I could put some WD-40 or something on there to just get it to go in, but as you can see, I got it. Now I'm about to stamp out this plate. Now, I wish this plate had more detail to it. As you're about to see, I'm going to actually stamp it out twice on this scrap sheet of paper and on another one after I remove that stray cat hair or dust ball. I don't know. I notice little things on my cards, and when I go to stamp, I'm always checking just to make sure there's no hair or anything there. Like I said, I do have two cats, and they like to find their way into things. Now, as you can see, the plate turned out fine the first time, so I'm just going to take the coordinating dies now that I purchased, and I'm going to have this run through my Gemini Junior. I am adhering it with a little bit of tape just to make sure I don't ruin any of these images because I don't want to stamp again. All right, now for the reveal, which is always very exciting when you run things through the Brother Scan and Cut or the Gemini. Honestly, it's more nerve-wracking than exciting because you're like, okay, please, I hope the line's cut right. And I absolutely love how this came out. Now, for something else that I love, I am playing with the Spellbinders Party Balloon Garland set. These are my colors that I'm using, new color combo. However, let's get back to this set. I've never played with it before. I bought this, I think it was last year, and as you can see, I'm being very gentle removing the balloons because with photopolymer, you got to be careful, you guys. You will rip something in a heartbeat and be sad you spent all that money. I thought these arches would make a great background for my card, so I decided to use an arch to stamp out this beautiful garland balloon on. I just love it so much. I think it looks beautiful. I'm just inking this up with my Jenny K ink. This would be perfect for a birthday or a baby shower, like a thank you card, just numerous things. Now I'm just cleaning up my area. I decided not to have the whole arch covered with a balloon because I also wanted the cake to really be the focal point. Now, I don't know what this is called, but this here I bought from Impression Obsession a few years ago, and you actually put it back in whatever stamping platform that you have because it essentially acts like that waffle flower grit mat. So I had a grit mat before grit mats became popular. Or were they just popular and I didn't know? You guys let me know. I thought I was like in the, card making, scrapbooking sphere long enough to be hip to these things. Anyhow, it's holding my cardstock great. I'm now putting my stencil on, being very careful. I'm taking one of my oxide colors and I'm about to get busy without any thought about the future. I really wish I would have thought that through, but it's okay. You guys are about to see what mistake I made. And I completely forgot that aside from the balloon parts being exposed, there's actually sentiments there that you can stencil in also. I did realize after I stenciled the green that it's going to be okay because that's just going to be covered by the cake. And if it wasn't, I was going to fudge that cake over basically to cover my little error. So as you can see, I just went ahead and I'm using the same Post-it note pieces just to cover the sentiments as I ink blend in these balloon parts. And this was actually really fun. Like, it was exciting to see my color palette come together. I did make my own like swatches on my distress oxides, so that was beneficial for me choosing which colors to put together, but to actually see them on a card, I think is still a twinge different, so I was a tad nervous. Just being honest. I really, really love this blue. This tumbled glass is beautiful. All these colors are beautiful. They are striking to me. Now that that's done, I'm moving on to my background piece. I decided to do a music note background sheet. I'm using my old Darcy embossing folder and just running that through just to make sure my lines are perfect. Again, this is really old. I'm not for replacing things unless I absolutely have to, unless aesthetics drive me. I decided to stamp out and die cut that candle and the little light at the top. You guys, how cute is this? I was literally tickled when I was putting it together. I ended up deciding that the Make-A-Wish sentiment was going to look well on this card. However, I didn't show how I stamped it out, so I do apologize. Now for a little bit of cleanup, because I do clean up my area as I'm working. And now I'm just starting to affix some parts of my card. If I feel like something looks good, I'm just going to go ahead and start assembling so I can basically get done sooner. Now I'm just putting the two arches together. The one I just left with the white background, I just didn't feel like I wanted another color. I felt like a lot was already going on. Maybe I was a little self-conscious about my color combo, but overall, I think I did good. The card was well received, so. Now I am trying to put the candle inside of the cake. I decided that it looked better, so I cut a slit with my little knife over there. I forget what that's called. And I'm shoving that candle in until it's the height that I desire, taping it down, and I actually slowed this part down so you guys could see what I did. Nothing major, just cut it, put the cardstock through, and then taped it down so it's not doing that funny Boeing flying upward thing. Sorry, I'm at loss for words to describe that. I literally just finished a 12-hour shift while I'm doing this voiceover. Now, this card was actually completed. I just thought it needed something extra, and the extra is actually the highlight around the candle. So I took one of my waffle flower shader brushes and I lifted up the candle with one of my little palette knives. I think that's for my scan and cut actually. And I used crushed curry on that shading brush and I brushed it off a few times just so I can get a feel for how much ink that shader brush was actually going to distribute, because the worst thing you can do is ruin a card that you've already completed because you want to be an artist. So I was very careful before applying this yellow, giving that a nice little highlight. And I was absolutely elated with the end result. Now, because again, I can't be basic for some reason, I wanted to give the cake some more dimension. So I have a Stampin' Up! Right marker and crushed curry, and I'm just stippling that color all throughout. The color on color, it still pops and it looks phenomenal. I was very happy with that addition. So I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this card tutorial. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Again, I am just so tickled. I did do heat embossing on that sentiment, and that's why I'm shaking it back and forth so you guys can see the light catch it. Hope you guys do something crafty that makes sure I'm happy.